Welcome to the Middle-Raged podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 24 of the Middle-Raged podcast with me, Keith A. Pearson, and my erstwhile co-host, Adam Eccles.
Hello, good morning, good Sunday sunny morning.
Yes, well, the weather has taken a turn. It is chilly.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
It looks roasting.
Breaking news.
Oh, dear.
We really must stop talking about the weather. It dawned on me that this is kind of getting tedious, I would imagine, for the listeners.
Well, you know, it's just the normal default, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll skip that then.
Okay.
Well, instead then, may the fourth be with you.
Thank you, Hans. We should probably say that we did debate whether we should mention what is officially Star Wars Day, I believe.
Is it official in some
I believe it
capacity?
is. Yeah,
okay.
It is.
I mean, it's a speech impediment, really, isn't it?
It is.
It's a bit weird to make that an official thing,
but a handy one would imagine for the.
Yeah, just keeps
Do you consider yourself a Star Wars type fan person?
No. So okay. I know that's going to be shocking, as I'm a nerd. But I'm a Star Trek person.
Okay.
I never really got into Star Wars. I don't know why. I mean, in theory, I should like it. And I have seen at least some of the films, but it just never really, got me interested. I don't know.
I think this might be, you were just on the cusp age-wise. So
possibly.
When the first one came out, 77, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. Well, I was only 3.
Yeah. So I was 6. So I was just about old enough to catch that first wave. And I think maybe I do love, and isn't it weird because Star Trek, that came out before
even before, yeah. But it was always on,
Yes.
Like, because it's a TV format. So it was just, Captain Kirk was always there getting it on with some alien green woman, so... So fair enough.
Polystyrene scenery.
Yeah, and Spock. And it was more likely that you would see that, I think. And then the Next Generation and stuff. Yeah. So,
do you think I mean, personally, that opening sequence to the original Star Trek, I think that was probably what hooked me.
I don't
know. Space, the final frontier,
yes,
boldly go, and all that.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean, I still watch Star Trek, so
yeah,
not often, but if I get in the mood, put some on. But yeah, it's a lot different these days. Not different.
I haven't seen it. Do you know what? I kind of lost it after the original series. I couldn't really get into
Picard.
Yeah, Picard and all the other.
No.
It didn't really do it for me. But I do like, actually, in a more contemporary sense, I don't know if you've ever seen it, it's called the Orville.
Oh, yeah. The sort
with
of...
Seth MacFarlane.
That's it, yeah, the piss take one. It's actually quite good, isn't it?
I do enjoy it, actually. Yeah. I kind of like his sense of humour, and obviously it's sci-fi as well. So and it's just a bit different, isn't it? I do,
Trek
but it's
with dick jokes. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, what's not to love? So if you haven't watched The Orville and you're into sci-fi and indeed dry comedy, I think we're going to give that our recommendation, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah, there you go.
I might watch that later. Good.
There we go. Right, so beyond the fact that it is Star Wars Day, we are now in May.
Yeah, and I'll just play a little snippet for you.
Mayday? What's he talking about? That was weeks ago. It's nearly June.
The classic from the 60s, Tony Hancock, talking about Mayday. So yeah, tomorrow, I believe, isn't it? Is it tomorrow?
It's a bank holiday here in the UK, so I'm guessing it actually is May Day.
Yes.
I don't know what the purpose of it is, though. If I'm honest, it just seems like another random bank holiday, which is which is great if you work in a bank or other such institution which shuts on bank holidays. But for those of us who are self-employed and
it doesn't really make any difference, does it? Yeah.
No, it's just another day, really.
It's another pagan ritual, I think.
Yes.
So yeah.
So this brought us on to when we were sort of talking about this earlier about maypoles. Because I think, and I may be wrong on this, because we had one in infant school, and I'm wondering how many other. I can't imagine our school was the only school in the entirety of the United Kingdom that had a maypole.
I actually had an erection.
Yes. And it was part of the curriculum. Yeah, you would do maypole. I think it was possibly in lieu of not the whole year. It was like maybe just in the spring in lieu of PE or something, where you would get down to your pants and vest.
Oh, really? Oh, dear.
Do PE lessons.
Oh, yeah.
But no, the maypole.
There
must have been a manufacturer of maypoles back in the 70s that was having it off, because I can't imagine they had much competition. And if every school did have one, they probably made some good coinage out of that.
I mean, it's just... Is it a metal pole or a wooden pole?
It was wooden, and there was it was quite tall. I'm guessing like I don't know, maybe 15 feet. Mind you, when you're young, everything's big, isn't it?
Huge. Yeah.
So
is it not just a chopped up telegraph pole?
Yes, but it was on wheels, so it could be obviously moved around.
Oh, well, you had a fancy one.
Yeah, and you had. I can't imagine the 2 or 3 teachers lumbering this thing around the school. Yeah. Carrying it like a log, like a caber.
It'd be heavy, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It would be bastard heavy. And then what would happen for those outside of the UK or who weren't fortunate enough to be involved in maypole dancing, the children would stand around in like a circle, and there would be coloured ribbons flowing from the top of the pole, and you would hold it, and then you would have to go round in a clockwise sort of and dance and sort of move in and out and create this sort of pattern that would wrap around. These ribbons would wrap around the pole.
Yeah,
that was the theory. You can imagine trying to coordinate a load of 7-year-old kids to do this. It rarely ended well.
Yeah.
You would end up at least 2 or 3 kids would end up being strangled.
Oh, well, yeah. That's the sacrifice.
Exactly, for the pagan gods of spring. Maybe that's where it came from. You would wheedle out the thickest in the village.
Yeah, tangled up and halfway up a pole, tied. Yeah, tangled in ribbons. Yeah.
I'm going to go with that. I know we did a bit of research into maypole dancing, but I prefer our version.
I think that's more. Yeah.
Nothing to do with the goddess Flora or the arrival of spring or anything.
No. If you ended up, halfway up a pole wrapped around in ribbons, then you were then put into the stocks and I don't know.
As soon as we've done with this, I'm going to edit Wikipedia.
Good idea. Fair enough.
Loss.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a weird thing, isn't it? But I don't know if they have this in other countries. Across
probably
Europe
not.
Or in America, probably not. No, but if you do have fond memories or scary memories of the maypole dance, then let us know.
Is it a pagan thing? Because we do export quite a lot of pagan crap around the world, don't we? Yeah. I mean, Halloween being the obvious contender.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I think it is. I'm not. It's probably something to do with knobs. Because those typically are.
Yes. Spring, fertility, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Beltane, I think it is. Yeah. So, it's inevitably to do with knobs. I mean,
and nudity, I believe.
Definitely. Yeah, there's going to be nudity. Why not? Dance around in the nip. Okay.
Well, I guess back then, clothes, you couldn't go and pop to Primark or M&S and So it was, no washing machine. So it's probably easier just to pot around in the nude.
Yeah, I mean, if it's warm enough, then why not,
Yeah. That's probably why they celebrate spring. It's like everyone can get their junk out and wander around the village, as God intended.
Right.
Worthy of celebration? I'm not sure, but
scary in some instances, and probably quite unhygienic.
I'm going to guess that wasn't high on the list of priorities back in the day.
Yeah, dunk them in the river and be grand.
I would imagine that was a thing that because people probably couldn't swim. I mean, no one's, weren't having swimming lessons, were they?
Probably not, no. But yeah,
So,
if that's the thing, though, isn't it? In pagan times, or was it witch trials? I get those mixed up. But if you dunked in the river and you come out and you're dead, well, then you must have been a demon or something, right? So no bother.
I think it was the other way around, wasn't it? If you didn't drown, then you were definitely a witch, and then you'd be burned at the stake.
Right. Okay. So yeah, something like that.
But weirdly, most of them, in fact, all of them did drown.
Yeah,
you'd think after your fourth or fifth witch drowning or accused witch, you'd be going, do you know, I think we need to refine the system a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we seem to be finding a lot of non-witches. And we now have a lot of very dead women in the village, and that means that it's going to impact our opportunities to
get it on.
Reproduce and create a next generation of villagers.
Yeah. I think this was the sort of problem with the whole system, was that it was probably the blokes who tried to get it on with these women and they got rejected, and so they thought that they must be a witch and we're going to burn you. Fuck you.
Yeah, men, eh?
Yeah, bastards.
Dicks. Right.
Well, anyway, so good stuff. If you want to catch up on, I think, the origins, there's a great movie from the 1970s called The Wicker Man, which is probably a bit. I think it's a horror movie, but not in the normal sense. It's very Englishy and very 70s-y. But there's nudity.
I imagine the soundtrack's banging.
I don't know.
There was something about the soundtracks to British movies in the 70s that it's just on a different level. Mainly the porn industry, I'd imagine, but there's something about that sort of waka type it sort of infiltrated mainstream movies. I'm kind of curious now. I'm going to have to watch The Wicker Man just to hear the soundtrack.
Yes, and not for the nudity. Anywho, okay, good stuff.
Right, we were going to talk about Morris dancers as well, but I suspect we're going to run long on this one, and I don't know.
Another time.
I'm going to guess that there may well be, just based on our demographic of our listenership demographic. I'm going to guess that there may be a Morris dancer or two amongst our listeners.
Really,
and yeah, I wouldn't want to offend, and primarily because it's coming from a place of ignorance, because we don't know what the fuck Morris dancers do or what they're about or why they do it.
I mean, I suppose if you do know, then let us know what the deal is. And are they maybe like Jehovah's, that they come and they have to spread their word? I don't think. I think they probably predate Jehovah Witnesses by some margin. Okay. But yeah, we would love to know what's the deal with the clacking of the sticks and the tambourines and the bells on knees and the trousers tucked into socks. I'm guessing that all of that is somehow related to knobs as well. Just, some obscure reason why it's knob related.
You're on a bit of a knob obsession this morning, it must be said.
Right.
Actually, can we just have a quick sidebar on this one? Because I think we should share what we were talking about off air about our experience of gymnasium changing rooms. Just very quickly. Do you want to tell the listeners what you've experienced?
Well, this is skipping ahead a bit, but this is very strange to me. Very, very strange. And maybe I'm the weirdo here, or we are, but I think this is weird, right? So I'm going to a pool to try and get fit in a vague sense. And I haven't been to a swimming pool for decades right before this. And so maybe I'm a bit out of touch, right? But in the changing rooms afterwards, I encountered a number of blokes standing around almost or entirely in the nip, and shaving in the changing rooms.
Their faces, we should stress.
Shaving their faces.
I'm assuming, I don't know this.
I didn't hang around long enough to find out. Maybe it's going even deeper, right? But yeah, so I come out of the pool. I'm barely able to stand, but I'm wrapped in a towel. And
as you should be.
Yeah. And then
Modesty.
you walk into you walk into the room, and then there's this sort of people doing random things. There's a few guys standing around naked having a conversation, very loud, just talking away and gesticulating and flapping around. I'm like, oh, fucking hell, don't look. And then there's a guy with just a towel around his midriff, standing shaving at the mirror, and the sinks and mirror, like I'm saying, shaving with foam all over his face and neck, and a cutthroat, not a cutthroat, but a normal wet razor, and then there's another guy drying his hair, and I'm just like, hang about, are these tramps? Do they not have? Why are you doing this in the public changing room? It's weird, utterly weird to me.
I'm wondering if it is just an opportunity for men to go and just be nude. But I will stress that I had a recent experience of it. I mean, I've sort of come nude blind myself because I just tunnel vision go into the changing room now and go where I'm going, and that's it. But
yes,
fairly recently I was standing at a urinal, just merrily minding my own business and emptying my bladder when guy stood to the next. There was only 2 urinals in this changing room that I go in the gym I go to, and a guy walked up to the urinal next to me, stark bollock naked. Now I think that's too far.
Yeah, that's just weird.
It's not comfortable at the best of times standing, 12 inches away from another dude.
With your dick in your hands. I mean,
that's already slightly awkward. But when that guy is naked, there's firstly, why?
Yeah.
Get dressed, then go and have a piss, or wearing whatever you're wearing when you entered the changing rooms, have a piss. Why do it at that particular moment?
Yeah, just like, okay, well, I'm I mean, presumably he's either about to or just had a shower, and just thought, oh well, since my dick is out, I might as well fucking train the lizard, right? But that's just what is it? I feel like these are the sorts of people who would happily walk around supermarkets in the nip and just, I think they're too comfortable, much too comfortable. It's weird.
I think our message on this is please stop it.
Yeah, definitely. Put some clothes on.
That's it.
Nobody wants to see whatever you've got. Just nobody wants to see that. Anyway.
Right, on that cock and ball story, should we head to the catch-up corner?
Yes, we should.
Okay, so lots of new followers. I say lots. We seem to have a steady increase in people following us on X/Twitter, which is lovely to see.
Hello, and welcome.
Yeah, very much. If you found us via that medium, it's good to have you on board. I've noticed that demographically, it's very much middle-aged men. So if we seem to be fighting our market. And I would stress as well, if you've got anything interesting to say, please stick it on there, and we may well reference it in a future episode.
Yes.
And on this occasion, we will just reference Clinton, who this is referring to our little promo video that you did. Do you remember?
Yes, yes.
And one of our very early episodes where we talked about ill-fitting socks.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And that seems to have sparked some level of conversation.
Oh, really? I must have missed that. But yeah, okay. Interesting.
And a chap called Clinton, welcome on board, Clinton, who's said socks are civilization. Ill-fitting socks are the reason society is in decline. Sockage is everything. So
very much agree with that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If not the reason, then the what's it? The symptom.
Or a contributing factor, maybe.
Yeah, indeed. And so I think I can speak for us and say one word: bamboo.
Yes.
So I've recently switched all my airport socks to bamboo, and this sounds like weird, but they're more. I used to be 100% cotton.
Yeah.
Before the because obviously synthetic fabrics are the devil's work.
For socks, 100%.
Yeah. And just keep away, right? So cotton, but bamboo seems to have advantages.
Is it more breathable? Do you think
it's more breathable? It's lighter. I think.
Yes.
Less
chafage.
And I don't know. They seem to pull up better. Have you ever seen those blokes who wear like foot sock? I don't know if that's a thing. The foot sock.
As opposed to what type of sock?
Well,
a wind sock?
As in it only just about covers the actual foot and doesn't go above or doesn't even reach the ankle. Is that a thing?
Oh, for trainers?
I don't know what
Yeah, you wear them when you're wearing trainers.
Really? Okay.
Or sneakers.
Well, I think those are quite offensive.
Well, what else would you wear when you're wearing... I'm assuming you're talking about people who are wearing shorts.
Well, yeah. Well, that's wrong in itself, right? So we've got lots of levels of wrong here. Blokes.
So,
I mean, women can wear both of those things. They can wear shorts and they can wear those short sock thing, whatever the hell they're called. I don't know. But blokes just shouldn't wear those. While we're on the subject, have you seen there's this fashion lately, I think, where blokes are wearing pants or trousers or whatever they are, but they get really, really tight at the lower leg level, below the knee.
Right.
I'm just like, what in the name of God is that about? That's scary. It looks like chicken legs walking around. Like it looks like you've got.
Are you talking about like skinny jeans?
I think so, but the top part is just regular, flappy and thigh width or whatever.
I don't think I've seen these.
Well, I don't know whether it's an Irish thing, but I see it quite often where, they are skinny, but it seems like it's only the below the knee part that's skinny. It looks like a fucking...
You're not talking about jodhpurs, are you?
I don't know. No. No, see, every bloke seems to wear them. I don't, obviously.
Okay, well, this is clearly an Irish thing. We need to see some sort of visual evidence, because I'm struggling to imagine what the hell this looks like.
It looks fucking awful. Okay. It looks awful. It looks like everyone's got twig legs. It's just, stop it. It's fucking horrible. I'll have to dig something up, but I'm not going to take a picture of some bloke walking.
You're not participating in this trend, I'm assuming.
No, good grief, no. I wear standard Wranglers.
So what happens in the summer when it's like you have to go venture outside and it's like, I don't know, 30 degrees?
Oh, well,
and
I get hot. That's what happens.
You wouldn't get your legs out?
God, no. No.
Okay.
No. Nobody wants to see that. It's like walking around in the nip in the changing room.
I would say, though, but there is a point where you go, do you know what, it's 30 degrees out, I cannot wear black jeans. I don't care if people see my knees.
Hairy legs.
It's fuck it. I just need to let my skin breathe. Just I don't think I could do that.
Well, so far I've managed it. Having taken up more exercise, maybe this year will break me, right? But
could be liberating.
Summer. But we'll see. I mean,
just keep it at shorts, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to walk around in the nip with that out. That's not going to happen.
Although you could do, can you? I mean, you're fairly remote. I mean, if you wanted to.
Yes, but I do pass by a school. So that's probably frowned upon.
Yeah, fair point. Right, on that.
Yeah.
Should we crack on with the... we've gone 25 minutes near enough, and we've not even scraped the surface of what we're actually supposed to be talking about.
All right, well, let me do this button then.
Thank you for calling. Your call is important to us. We're currently experiencing a higher than normal volume of calls, and wait times may be longer than usual. Please stay on the line and we'll connect you with the next available representative. We appreciate your patience.
Ugh, fuck that. But that's what we're talking about.
It is. Support. Or, there's no other word for it. It's normally labelled as help and support or something of that nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess... Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, but just, this is, you're at your wit's end. Something has broken, and you may have tried, if you're in any way techie, if it's a tech thing, you may have tried all the things you know, but whatever it is just isn't working, and you think, wow, fucking hell, I have to ring support. And isn't that just the pits? Even just thinking about, okay, I have to pick up the phone. I know I'm going to be on hold. I know I'm going to have to talk to fuckwits.
You assume you may well want to or be able to.
Right, yes. I suppose that's the first thing.
Should we start? I think there is, because there was a time long ago when businesses treated customers like, they were of some importance to the business. Right.
That's good, yeah.
And therefore, for you to actually be, obviously pre-internet, but, if you wanted something dealt with, you used to pick up a phone, ring the number of a shop or business, someone would answer within a couple of rings and help out, and then that would be that. And that was how life worked, and it was great.
Yeah.
Now I think that consumers, customers are seen as just numbers on a spreadsheet. We're disposable, irrelevant, an annoyance for some businesses. Actually feels like.
Yeah.
And I think we've pinpointed where this all began. This sort of breakdown in customer service, and it was probably do you want to guess when the first foreign call center opened? Do you have any idea?
I haven't actually, but I would imagine. You're going to rely on phone networks, and so I don't think those really, like, if you go far back enough. I remember
90s, do you think? Does that sound
probably was early 90s? Yeah, because before that, you remember you have to ring the operator to get to connect you to a different country or something.
Yeah.
Man, those were.
And that's assuming you could afford to ring a different country, which most people couldn't.
I mean, it was an event, wasn't it?
Yeah. But so we're going to assume it was the 90s, and at some point, one company said, "What we're going to do is we're going to take all of these people, these jobs that are in the UK, and we're going to transplant them in." I think it was probably India or somewhere. Certainly, Asia was the first sort of. And because these people, we can pay these people less.
Yeah, cheap.
That's really the top and bottom of it, isn't it? I mean, that's why they did it, because why pay someone 10 quid an hour when you can pay them 3?
Or 2 grains of rice an hour or something.
Yeah, or whatever it may be. And I think that's where the thing started to break down, because at that moment, what you're doing is you're saying, actually, the most important thing is not keeping the customers happy, it's keeping the bottom line low.
Yeah, that's it, 100%. Obviously, if you valued it, it wouldn't be sent to a mega cheap place.
Yeah. This is no slight on people in foreign call centres, but ultimately they do not understand. It's because English is not their first language. And therefore, when they're trying to talk to somebody from Glasgow or Sunderland or the West Country, there's going to be issues in communication.
What's that? What'd you say? I don't know.
All right.
All right, mate. Well, internet's not working.
When you've got a problem, and no one else can solve it, I don't know what. Only people of a certain age are ever going to think that way, aren't they? Yeah. But when you've got a problem and you're already frustrated, the worst thing you can do to someone, a customer, is put them in a situation where they cannot communicate effectively with a person that's supposed to help them.
Yeah, just making it more tense, more annoying.
Yes.
No wonder these. I mean, these poor people who have to get yelled at every day, every working hour of every day. Somebody's going to get angry with you, and your product is shit. Well, it's not my product, mate. I just work here. Actually, I think the companies deliberately hide behind these people. They're not empowered at all, and they don't. Even if you have a legit problem, I don't think that they, pass that on, or does that actually get to somebody who can do something about it? Of course not. It's just they just palm you off.
They're like a human firewall, aren't they?
Yeah, the cannon fodder. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rather than deal with the problem, just shove these poor people there who are going to get screamed at, and they're not, and again, it comes down to the whole thing is they're not, because of the communication issue, it's making the problem worse, I suspect.
Yeah, big time.
But clearly this is literally just the beginning of the end of customer service and support. This is where it started. And I think we've kind of highlighted some of our significant and most prominent gripes about this. So should we just work through those?
Let's go through the list. Yeah.
Okay.
So so a lot of places will have a forum, an online forum, instead of real support.
Yeah.
And this is kind of it has an up and a down, I think. First off, well, it's if it's a popular thing, I used to be into cameras and stuff, so there was a Canon forum, and I think it was officially run by Canon. But there'd be, people talk about photography and stuff like that, but there would also be people asking questions. And it's not the company who answer the questions. It's one very knowledgeable, mega nerdy, techie camera fanatic who lives for that forum, and he's answering all the questions. And this is like free tech support for the company.
It is outsourcing
weird,
their responsibility to provide customer support to other customers for free.
For free, yeah. What a rip-off.
I think it works on one level, i.e. you get to talk to somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. But it's actually finding the answer. This is the issue with it.
Yeah.
Because you could get, you could spend hours scouring a forum.
Well, that's it. Forums have their own culture and, rules and society. And, there's all lurkers and there's very popular people on the forums, and it becomes its own thing. It's to the point where some of them will actually meet up and have pints,
Wow.
I've been in situations like that. Yeah.
Gosh.
But it's weird. But trying to find the answer to your question amongst a massive load of historical information, and it's very hard to search for. It's not.
There's always, it's not necessarily up to date. If you search, you're going to find stuff that's bloody years old, and then you'll always get some snark. If you decide, okay, I can't find what I want, I'm going to ask the question. You'll get some snarky arsehole.
What did you search?
Oh, yes, exactly. Well, of course I fucking did. I don't want to waste my time. Or people who just treat you like an idiot. And ultimately, it's like, I don't want to be doing this, okay? You didn't have to respond. I don't want to be writing this shit. I just want to make my thing work. I can't speak to anyone at the company.
Yeah.
no one's having a good time here. So
the ones I've really just pissed me off is you spend ages formulating your question, nicely formatted, punctuated properly, see previous episodes.
Yeah.
And then you post your question and you're like, well, I really hope, I'm at my wit's end. I really hope somebody actually answers me. And what you get back is, why are you doing that? Fuck off. I'm doing it because I need to. What? Well, you shouldn't do it that way. Why don't you do this other completely different thing? Oh, my God.
Well, then ensues a 2 to 3 day conversation.
Yeah. And you don't get an answer.
No, you just want something. And this, again, so I think the forums, that is right off the bat an insult.
Yeah.
Or at very least, what these companies should do is say, people who actually take the time and trouble to give meaningful answers, they should get some kind of like digital reward.
Definitely, yeah.
Like a discount or something, rather than just being relied upon to do the job that the company should be doing for their customers, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Like my dad used to be very prominent in one of these forums for, I think music software, Logic Pro or something, right? But he would spend hours doing it just because he liked being the forum nerd. But, he died, so he won't be answering any more questions.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Right, on that.
But yeah, what I mean is, don't rely on somebody on a forum because they won't always be there.
Right.
Moving on.
I think the next thing is, and this is, this one pisses me off, right? Because you'll go through, it says contact us, okay? So you've got a problem and you're on a website and it will say contact us. So you've got to contact us. And then it's like, have you checked out our knowledge base or our FAQs, right? Yeah. And then before I get to something approaching a contact form or a phone number, I've got to go through this.
Yes.
And it will drag you through, what is your problem about? Does it really? And inevitably you go through these series of questions until you hit something like, well, now I'm at a point where I can't go left, I can't go right. My only option is to go back. And you're trying to work. It kind of reminds me of those sort of very early RPG role-play games on computers in the 80s. Do you know what I mean?
Go north.
Yes.
Look around.
Oh, you've been killed by an ogre.
Shit, right.
It's exactly like that. You just end up at these dead ends where where your neither option is relevant. And why are you doing this? Just give me a fucking phone number or an email address or something where I can actually contact you. I don't want to be going through this ridiculous search, this quest for answers. It's just,
But usually they end up in, when I go through them, it's like, sorry, we couldn't find an answer. Would you like to talk to somebody? Why did you make me go through this bollocks? Just put a talk to me button on this. Oh, God. Yeah, brutal.
Anyone would think they don't want you to contact them.
I wonder.
But when you do eventually get through to someone.
Yes, they might get back to you.
Let's assume you get a form. Normally the way, isn't it? It's not normally an email address, is it?
No, yeah. So you have to fill in a form, and some of those forms, you wonder if it actually works. Do you send your stuff? And here's a pro tip: if you're going to write into a web form, write your words elsewhere first into a notes app
in
or
a notepad.
Anywhere else. Save it. And then copy and paste it into the web form, right? Because that web form may break, and you spend ages, formulating your answer, again, nicely formatted, nicely punctuated, and grammar, blah, blah, blah. And then you press the button, and it says, sorry, we couldn't send your request, and you've lost. You go back, and it just says, do you want to send this form again? And then, fuck.
That's gold. I do that religiously now with most forms because I've fallen foul of spending half an hour outlining my very specific problem, telling them what I've done, what I haven't done, and making sure that whoever is going to be picking it up knows precisely what my issue is.
Yes.
And then it times out. There's a server crash or something. And you think, oh my fucking
You
God,
bastards,
I've got to write the whole thing from scratch. So that is, I would say, gold advice. Never, ever fill the form out directly.
No. You ever had a form where you're not allowed to paste into it?
Oh.
What in the name of God is...
But they make it difficult. Like they have autocomplete switched off. Like you can stop people using autocomplete, and you know that they've done that. That's a conscious decision that is just making your life more difficult. But they know that anything is. It's like, how can we make this as painful as possible to deter people from contacting us?
Yes.
So they end up going to a forum or Googling it,
else,
whatever it may be, somewhere else that doesn't cost us money.
Yeah. It's all about getting rid of people, isn't it? They desperately want you before you're a customer, and then as soon as you are a customer, well, fuck you, mate. You're on your own.
And we won't even get into the subject of captures. I mean, who the fuck is still using them?
Yeah.
Why are they? Why do they exist?
I don't. Yeah, that's so weird. Are you a robot? We did an episode on that, didn't we?
We did, but it's the visual ones. Like you've got to read a fucking word out, and
it's all messed up, or how many traffic lights or something?
Jesus,
fuck off.
Again, I don't think they're there to stop bots and spam.
Of course not, because these days bots can actually get around all of those things.
Of course they can. They're there to deter actual customers and humans from contacting the company. That's what they're there for. And that's not a conspiracy theory. I'm going to go with that as an actual legitimate theory.
I mean, and some of them then have their own bots. So you have to prove to a robot that you're not a robot. Two robots talking to each other. What have we come to?
Talking of bots, the support bot, which has become a thing. AI, and they claim they're AI support bots. Are they? Fuck.
They're not AI.
There's nothing intelligent, artificial or otherwise, about these. Because you think they lure you in. You know these little things that pop up in the corner of your screen. Okay, can we help?
Yeah.
And by that, they
Probably
mean, can
not.
we just throw you into another system that doesn't work, where you think you might be talking to a human?
Yeah, but
you're not.
You're not.
No.
Yeah.
Can I have your account number? Can I have your name? Can I have your email address? Can you tell me which blah, blah, blah? And you think, okay. And then it goes, I cannot help you. I need to put you through to one of our support team.
And you go through all of that. And what are the first thing they ask you? What's your email address, name, and account number? And like, I fucking told you. Scroll up.
We didn't.
Yeah.
You told the bot.
That's it. But the bot should save that, surely. Like all of these things come down to terrible UI design. And
implementation.
Yes. They already know. Yeah, they should know. They shouldn't have to ask you the same things over and over.
And no testing, one assumes. You can only guess that people who deploy these things on websites have never actually had to use one themselves.
Yeah.
That can't be true, surely.
Well, it happens at work all the time. We get some sort of new system that's, much lauded over months and months and months. And then some people are indoctrinated to be the testers, right? So they claim that we'll take a few people who should be using this and you're going to do a UAT, user acceptance test. And they're usually stooges. What you get in the end. Well, actually, even if they're not, right? Yeah, I've done it a couple of times over the years. And, you say, well, this doesn't work really how we want it to. And they're like, well, we've already deployed that, so fuck off. Too bad.
So there's no testing. You're basically lip service. So if you want to say this works perfectly, that they want to hear it.
That's all they want to hear, yeah. All they want to hear. And the people who actually developed it, they don't really know what the people who are going to be using it for actually care about. All of those conversations were had months and months and months before, when they were talking about the budget, who's going to do this for the cheapest. and they never actually engage the right people. And so you end up with this shit system, doesn't do what you want to do, but by the time you actually get to feedback on it, it's already set in stone, so fuck off. So it's just, so I can quite easily believe that these bots and the systems and everything, it's all implemented with this stupid idea that, it'll be fine, but we're not actually going to test anything in real situations.
Let's assume that bots are pointless. I'm guessing, based on what you've just said. I guess the traditional method is you've submitted a form or an email. I have had varying luck with this. Normally you get a canned response back, don't you? Like an autoresponder. And that will only then will they tell you how long you should expect to wait.
Yeah.
And this can vary massively. I had one not that recently ago. That doesn't sound like English, does it? Recently. There we go. Right. And it was 10 working days.
Oh, man.
This is not you kind of expect that with like governments and public bodies and things. You think, well,
they're not going to.
But this was an actual company. 10 fucking working days.
That's ridiculous. 10 days.
What is going on there?
And that's 2 weeks for the.
Yeah, that's it in essence. I guess they say 10 working days because it sounds. If you actually see 2 weeks.
It's 40.
Or a fortnight to confuse our American listeners.
Oh, yeah, that's right. A fortnight. Not the game fortnight, but yes. Wow. I mean, like, at that stage, you'd forgotten about it,
it makes you wonder if this thing that you have a problem with is critical to your existence. Say, I don't know, it's some sort of medical device or something that you rely on.
Tank. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what the fuck? Well, I don't know, some insulin testing device or...
You'll be dead by then, so we don't need to support you.
I mean, it wasn't in this instance, but just for fuck's sake, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's ridiculous.
On what level is that? Does a company look at that and go, that is acceptable for somebody to get a response to an email? And then you go, and right? Imagine the situation where you wait 2 weeks, you get a reply, and it doesn't actually answer your original question.
Never, not, and definitely won't. Like if that actually happened, angels would fly out of your butt or something. It's just that would be look, they've actually provided the answer. Wow. Of course they fucking haven't. That's when you can start the further negotiations.
But you will go into then it's another 2 weeks for a response. I mean,
this is what happens is you formulate your perfectly nice email which explains everything in really clear detail. Well, this is what I do, right? And of course they haven't actually read any of that.
No.
And so they answer something else. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
It's a canned thing, isn't it? They're probably and again, in fairness to the people dealing with this, they're probably chewing through hundreds of these a day. And after a while, as we know from writing books, your attention just drifts. You can't maintain your attention span to that degree over a period of many hours. So they will inevitably, you're going to get people just copying and pasting, sending canned responses that just don't answer the problem. And then you're just back into the loop again. You're back into the machine and waiting for you to rise to the top. And then,
it's terrible. And you just have to wonder, right, if they're so busy trawling through thousands and thousands of problems, maybe there's something wrong with the product.
Well, here's something where you think AI would be useful because it would then identify where the most common problems are.
Exactly. You could have a bot that would analyze 10,000 emails or whatever and pull out what are the common themes, and then actually answer them properly immediately as well.
Just as a sidebar, imagine you could do that with politicians and politics. Like, you just put in, what's the top 5 issues that people have? And then the government has to just deal with that shit. Nothing else. They've got to deal with that shit, right? Once you've dealt with that shit, you can then go back, what's the next 5 priorities that people have?
It's a good idea. Replace the whole political situation, all those people, with AI bots.
Do you know, honestly, I can't see how it could be any worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cheaper.
The bot doesn't have any
ideology.
It's not going to exploit the system to make money. It doesn't care about money.
No, and it's not going to be emotive either, is it? It's not. It's just going to look at a problem, because politics, and this is, I think, I know we don't talk about politics, but the problem with politics is that politicians are not good problem solvers.
No,
by nature, they're good at thumping desks and making speeches and that type of stuff. But that doesn't make you a good problem solver. Whereas AI is very good at problem solving.
I think we've solved world peace here. Good idea.
I think, So we get rid of all the various parliaments and all that, and just get ChatGPT and just let it crack on.
That's it. Making policies. I reckon that would sort out the country in about 10 minutes.
Well, you can't argue with it, really, because it's just going to come up with the most
logical,
and in some situations, there's going to be a least worst way of dealing with something. But surely the least worst is better than doing nothing, or just kicking a can down a road, or hoping the problem will go away, or
taking the money and spending it on
consultations and quangos and fucking all sorts of stuff that
meetings
doesn't actually
flights.
Okay. There we go. So bring on the bots. So let's say back on track.
Though.
So let's imagine that we can actually talk to a human being. So you've actually got find, and we talk about the holy fucking grail. I mean, when you actually find a telephone number on a website, right? That is I mean, it's almost like a lottery number. A winning lottery number. I found a phone number. I found a number I can call and speak to an actual person who cannot just say to me, "Oh, here's a different answer to the question you asked. Call me back in 2 weeks," right? They've got to deal with it. So you find a phone number. Great. Problem solved?
Don't know about that. So they are obliged by their lawyer and legal and insurance overlords to read out scripts.
Yes.
And they won't budge, because if they do budge, they'll probably get fired, right? So these poor cannon fodders on the end of the line, they have to read out these bloody scripts, and they just, because of this, what is it, lowest common denominator? Yeah. Everybody is treated like a fuckwit. If you can't make your thing work, then you must be stupid, and so we're going to treat you like a kindergarten kid. And so they make you do all of the things that you inevitably have already done, because who calls these places for the laugh? You call it as a last resort. You've already tried everything you can think of. You've probably Googled it. You might even have asked ChatGPT these days, how the hell do I fix this problem? But it won't work. It's something to do with their side. It's broken on your side, mate. My Vodafone internet isn't working. I know everything is fine here. It's your side, but they won't believe you.
No, you cannot skip steps.
No.
So they've got to go through, have you done the most obvious fucking thing that you can possibly think of? Well, yes, I've done that. And what about this next obvious thing? Like, have you turned it on? Jesus Christ. That's a step, isn't it? But because at some point, there's this very famous, just very quickly sidebar, about some guy who rung a branch of Asda in the UK to complain about a pizza he'd purchased that had no topping on it, right? So he's on the phone talking to this poor woman at Asda, and she's saying, "We'll bring it back and we'll replace it." And he's like, "Oh, I've got to get a bus, and I've got to come back into town." And she's like, well, I don't know we can't send you a pizza. What would you like me to do? Anyway, the guy's moaning and then suddenly stops and he goes, oh, wait, it's upside down.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know why I thought of that just then, but that was, yeah.
Well, I mean, this is these people are the reason.
So this is what you've got to deal with, isn't it? You've got to deal with the those type of people. Yeah, which means going through this entire fucking script of every conceivable problem.
I wish there was a button that was like, you know, convince them that you know what you're not an idiot. Like I've already done everything.
Yes, like some sort of pre-test.
Yeah.
So just to sort of get you an idea, mind you, that would just be another excuse for them to throw you into some sort of telephonic abyss, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have all that already. You do going through security. If you're ringing a bank or card company or something, you've got to go through that rigmarole. Enter your 4-digit. Enter the code that you set up 6 years ago.
Yes, right.
You've got literally no hope of ever remembering.
Yeah, not going to happen, is it? Yeah. The whole thing about data protection. I've probably ranted about that before, but like, it's such a load of crap. You know, tell me your date of birth, because nobody could possibly know that, could they?
But then they've got clever, haven't they? It's like, what was the second initial or the first name of your best friend in junior school?
And your first dog or whatever. Like, I can't remember that either.
Well, you probably did at the time when you set this up.
Yeah.
But it's the subjective stuff, isn't it? It's like, what was your favourite flavour of blancmange?
Right, yes. Well, it's changed. It used to be strawberry, now it's vanilla.
I mean, the stuff of knowing where you live, but which street you grew up in, right? That's you can deal with that. But it is some of the subjective stuff, and then the third letter of that, and you've got to get through security.
It's so fake. I mean, I'm convinced that they know that it isn't actually protecting anything, but they just have to say it, right? And it drives me to drink. Just, it's when they ring you and then they ask you to provide. I'm like, well, you fucking rang me. I don't know who you are. Why are you asking me? Like, you could be a scammer.
Probably are.
Yeah.
Bastards. Yeah. I mean, when are banks ever ringing you?
Exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, we have assumed that you would actually get through to someone, and let's be honest, that in itself is a rarity. And I'm going to special mention to HMRC at this point, because anyone that has to ring HMRC in the UK, who are the tax body, the people who look after everyone's tax, I say look after, the people who are supposed to deal with all of our tax issues. If you've ever got to call them, fuck. I mean,
that's your day, isn't it?
It is. You can do a couple of hours on hold, and you have the same repetitive music over and on a loop, and there's that message, isn't there?
Yes.
We're experiencing higher than expected call volumes.
Yeah.
Like you did the last time I called you and the time before that, and maybe they're not as unexpected as you suggest.
Yeah. I always think you can't always be experiencing a higher volume than normal, because then that is the normal.
That's the normal, yeah. What it basically is, we don't want to spend any more money on support, so suck it up and enjoy your queue and some green sleeves on repeat.
For 7 hours.
Till you die.
Yeah. I actually did, I think it was Vodafone as well. I needed, there was just, it's impossible to get through to these people, but I was determined, right? So I actually did wait on hold for 3 hours once. I mean, I had the phone on speaker and just next to me, and I was doing other things, right? But I was like, no, I can't. I need to get through to somebody. I'm just going to wait, because usually I would have given up like after 10 minutes or something. But I was like, no, I'm going to wait and see if they actually ever answer the phone. And yeah, after 3 hours, somebody actually answered. I'm like, oh my God, like I've forgotten what it was that I needed to ring about.
3 hours. I mean, Jesus.
It's just ridiculous.
This is Vodafone.
Yeah. You'd think
if anyone is absolutely, I mean, why the fuck anyone from Vodafone would listen to this, I don't know, but you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah. Like, come on. Like, that. Nobody's going to wait them. Yes, I did.
They know that, though. They must do, because...
Exactly, yeah. They just want you to hang up.
At what point are you calling back? Are you just not, are you?
No, it's just ridiculous. Like, and this was, first thing in the morning. Doesn't matter what time you choose, they're always this busy. And you like that stage, like, does anyone actually get through to a human ever? It's weird.
I would say, and you may contest this, that mobile phone companies are the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
In terms of customer service and support and everything else. I'm struggling to think of any companies that or sectors that are as bad.
Yeah, because you don't really ring, the people who make the eggs, or no, it's the mobile phone, and it's normally it's normally a billing or technical issue, isn't it? But they are the ones that spend most of the money on marketing, and advertising, and probably the least on actual support. Yeah. Because it literally is a numbers game for them, isn't it? Definitely is, yeah. Yeah, and they're always going to be in a different country, in a cheap country, where they can't understand you, and
or you can see a time where there will be even those offshore call centers will be gone, and it will all. I reckon within, what do you reckon, 3 years maybe before you're talking to an AI voice on a phone call.
Yeah, that's definitely in the post. Definitely. If you can get, because most people will want to still speak to somebody rather than just text it, right? So and what they provide. Well, right. That's definitely going to happen. I mean, that could technically happen now. So it's probably 18 months away. Even.
It's just server capacity, I'm guessing, that's just holding it back. The tech's there, isn't it? It's just the cost of actually getting that up and running, and then they can bin off all of
all those
their call centers.
Thousands of people stuck in tiny little booths in their horrible call center where it's really noisy. They'll turn into scam farms.
Yeah.
They'll be still there sitting there making their calls, but they're trying to get money out of you instead.
Yeah. God, what a depressing thought.
It is. It's quite scary.
But, if it means getting through to somebody who may have somebody actually being able to find... Because you'd imagine an AI was going to do a much, much better job than any human or any pre-programmed website or forum or anything like that. Yes. At least you may actually find a solution to your problem.
I mean, I think if they can understand.
Yeah, true. I wonder if Amazon's recently had to get a refund on something, and I didn't even speak to a human.
Right.
Just sort of had a little chat with this sort of automated bot. This is over the phone as well.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it just goes, what's going on, blah, blah, and yep, here's your refund.
You go. Wow. Okay. I didn't know you could ring Amazon.
Okay. I shouldn't have revealed that on this podcast because I thought, you have to look for the number. I mean, trust me, it's
not easy.
It's very deep, but it's there.
Okay. Well, that's
a little fun game for the kids.
If you can find the support number for Amazon, post it on
or any company. Imagine that. Just it's the summer holidays. It's wet. What are you going to get the kids to do? Put them on the Vodafone website. Say, if you can find a phone number, right, we'll have cookies for lunch.
To a human,
yeah. Good luck with that.
Wow.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Right. So if anyone actually has been on hold for more than 3 hours, I can't believe anyone's been on hold for more than 3 hours. Jesus.
Yeah. You'd have to be very dedicated for that.
Yeah.
But if you have, then let us know.
Yeah. Did you actually get your problem resolved?
No,
we never found out.
Absolutely not. No. It's a long story of me trying to get fibre internet connected and trying to convince people that I knew more than they did. which is the I'm a techie, right? So I always have this problem. If anything tech breaks, I know that it's broken. I have already tried all the stuff because that's what I do. And of course, convincing them that, they're not going to listen. And in this case, it involved digging up the road, right? So no, I didn't get anywhere with that. But I needed to keep bugging them. That was the thing.
Okay. Clearly you were, dedicated to that cause.
Yes. Well, it was either that or move house. So,
that must have been a close call, though. Ring Vodafone again or move house. I mean, both are a significant ball ache.
Exactly. In the end, I had to pull in favours to get that all sorted. But it did get sorted in the end, but not through Vodafone.
Top job, Vodafone. Did a cracking job there, lads. Keep up the good work. And I'm going to be changing my phone provider soon, and I sure as fuck will not be using Vodafone.
Indeed.
So thank you for that recommendation.
Right. Good stuff.
Do you know that should be a thing, right? If you saw a product or service or whatever being advertised and it said, we will answer your call, I think actually saying that a bank may have done this. We will answer your call. A human in the UK will answer your call within 3 minutes, right?
That'd be a massive selling point, wouldn't it?
Isn't it ridiculous that was a standard 30 years ago?
Yeah.
And now I'm sure I've seen this. I didn't just, it's not a fever dream.
That rings a bell, yeah.
That is now a selling point that an actual human will answer your call
you can
promptly.
Speak to a human when our service inevitably breaks. That you're paying for, we'll have a human.
We'll do you the courtesy of actually try and help you get it back working again. That's fucking good of you, isn't it? Thanks. Really appreciate that.
It's sort of, it puts everything in perspective, doesn't it? This is the level of shit that we've just become accustomed to. We just expect everything to be shit. And guess what? It is.
It is, I guess, like a political party actually doing what they said they were going to do. You're like, wow, that's novel. You've actually fulfilled one of your manifesto promises.
Good
wow,
grief.
top work. Only another 27 to go. Crack on.
Right.
I think we've gone long again, so we should probably just wrap this up. Or we could just put people on hold for another 15 minutes and put on some green sleeves and let them listen to that.
I haven't got a green sleeves button, but I should have thought of that,
Okay, well, there we are. That's something for the post-edit.
Yes.
They'll be like, people look, God, Keith and Adam have done a 2-hour episode.
On the last 57 minutes.
Your listenership is important to us. Please stay on the line.
We'll get back to the podcast in 5 minutes.
We'll get back in 9 minutes.
Shit. Okay.
Jesus. Right. Okay. Should we have a happy ending?
Yes, let's do that.
So tell me what. So I think we've already touched on this just to a degree, and we've fast forwarded.
I've been under the weather a bit and had to do some medical stuff, and this has resulted in me shaking up my life a bit. And actually getting off my arse and doing some exercise every day. And I'm the sort of person who that was quite offensive for, right? Like it's just like, that's what wankers do, isn't it? but unfortunately, it's come to either that or collapse. So I'm doing that. But I have started going swimming. In a pool, right? I live near the sea, but that's just a bit much for me now. I don't like the thought of seaweed getting into my pants,
Oh dear.
Small fish or crabs or whatever the hell they have, jellyfish or something. I'm not ready to face that yet. But I'm going to a swimming pool, which is a nice clean environment, at least before you get to the changing rooms.
Turds.
Yes. No, Hopefully no turds. But it's chlorinated, yeah, so they're clean turds if they are.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so I've started doing that, and it's actually much more enjoyable than I thought it would be. You know, it's a thing. So yeah, that's my happy ending. Is basically I've decided to not be a lazy bastard anymore.
Congratulations. And you will feel the benefit. I know I'm going to sound like one of those wankers. But it is the hardest thing, getting your fitness back, because it is fucking miserable for the first, I'm going to go 3 months.
Right, okay. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's hard going and it's sweaty. I think that's why I favour the pool, right? Because it keeps you relatively cool while you're doing stuff, and you don't get all nasty and sweaty. Then you have a shower afterwards, right? So it's. I think I quite like that.
But there will come a point where you're going to have to venture out, and you will get sweaty. And but that in itself, do you know what? Having a shower once you've done some proper exercise. And you have a shower afterwards, that is one of the greatest, or the simplest but greatest feelings that you can have. It's a bit like fresh bed linen.
Yeah. No, fair enough, But so do it at home. Don't get your shaving gear out at the...
No, absolutely not. And please do not take a piss in the nude anywhere, really.
No, God.
Excellent, right. So yes, well done for that. Keep it up. I think we should check back on this in 6 months, and Adam will be a fully fledged exercise wanker by that point, and the whole theme of the podcast will change.
Oh dear!
Let's get out. Let's pump.
Yeah. Well, that's
maybe not.
That's when you know things have gone really badly.
You would require some level of enthusiasm for that as well, and I don't see that.
No, it's hard to find. It's hard to find that.
Okay. Right, my happy end. It's a weird one, this one, really, because it's kind of like bittersweet. I am watching less and less actual TV, and I am making the maximum use out of my YouTube Premium subscription. So my thank you is really for all the amazing people who produce some really good content for YouTube nowadays. TV quality stuff that is brilliantly filmed, brilliantly recorded, superbly executed, interesting. It doesn't want to preach at you, doesn't want to give you a lecture, doesn't come at you with any particular angle. It's just stuff you can sit and you can watch and you can enjoy, whatever mood you're in, whatever you fancy. And it is not rotting my brain.
Yes.
And I have found some great stuff over recent months without the hassle of having to watch adverts every 3 minutes.
That's the premium part, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
But
you do get YouTube Music rolled into that. So if you've got a subscription with Spotify or whatever, you can bin that off. And I think I'm right in saying it's 12, 13 quid a month. And when you look at like Netflix, I think that's a similar amount of money,
right? And
there's a limited amount of content on there, but the stuff on YouTube Premium, there's a guy at the moment that I've started following recently. His name is Noel Phillips, and some people listening probably heard this. I'd never heard of the guy, right? And I just thought it was some random guy, and he just gets on aeroplanes and just videos himself, right? And he's got millions and millions of followers. I mean, as he's walking through airports, as I'm watching more and more of his stuff, is people actually coming up to him. He's like some sort of celebrity. When you think about the it's all changed, hasn't it? But so I think I Googled this recently. Is that how many people do you think watch EastEnders every week or every day or wherever it's on? I would guess it's probably down in the sort of 5-6 million these days, something
like that. Yeah, and then you look at these YouTube chaps, whatever, like who get like 30 million views on. I'm like, whoa, wow, the tide has changed, isn't it?
Completely.
I mean, you think EastEnders, that's everyone watches that surely, but no, this is 10 times. 10 times.
You can imagine in 10 years' time, people actually on TV will be. I mean, who will be watching TV by
old
that
people.
point? Yeah. People who are used to watching, sitting down at 7:30 to watch whatever it is on BBC One. Those days are, that generation is going. And I don't really do it anymore. I can't remember the last time I sat down, apart from like live sport or something.
Right. Well,
when was the last time you sat down to watch something as it was happening on TV? It just doesn't happen. You just PVR it, or you watch it on catch up or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I'm finding I don't even want to, I'm not that interested in actually watching it at all. There's just very little. I guess it's like you've got to watch what they produce, and what they produce is for the mass market, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and it's all sort of just dross. It's hard to find
brain rot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're trying to put what they think that what people want is the brain rot stuff, the scandal, and these reality shows are just every channel, like every evening, seems to be doing some new type of reality show.
They're cheap, that's why, I think.
But it's just becoming more and more scandalous now, and it's some of the stuff. There's one that's on Channel 4. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about this big house in the country, and a load of people turn up and they just do different sex stuff.
Okay.
Like, and it's all being filmed. So, like, a couple would turn up and like, they'd be like, my boyfriend just wants to see what it's like to have a threesome. So I don't know why I'm doing that voice for a woman, 23-year-old woman. But and of course, what happens? Some guy goes, "Yeah, I really want to see my girlfriend getting boned by another bloke. It's been our fantasy for years." And so, of course, they get to live out this fantasy in this sex house, sex manor, whatever it's called. And inevitably, it goes wrong, and you get to watch this relationship implode on your TV screen for your entertainment.
People want to watch that. That seems weird to me.
It's the same people who, I guess, like watch. It's the rubberneckers, isn't it? Like an accident side of a road.
Yeah.
You just, and human nature being what it is, I guess you look at it and go, well, at least that my life, as shit as it might be, is not as bad as these fuckers.
Fair enough. I mean, wow, but that is pretty low in the barrel.
There's where, I mean, there was one I saw called MILF Manor, where there was a load of 50 women, right? And they bust in a load of like 20-something-year-old guys. And that's super icky, isn't it? Imagine if that was the other way around, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
Police would be outside in 10 minutes.
I mean, it's not illegal, but I'd say that's fairly questionable, isn't it?
Dodgy.
Yeah, I mean these are women who
like that. That's
these lads are young enough to be your sons easily, in some cases grandsons. So it's uncomfortable. But anyway, that's the sort of shit that you have on TV. I don't really want to watch it. I will watch occasionally. There's a bit I'll delve in and out of, but it's give me YouTube Premium
for sure. I gave up TV about 20 years ago, and still people are what's the word? I can't think of the words. Yes. Perplexed. When I say that, they're like, "What? You don't watch TV? What do you do?" Like, well, other stuff.
You were well ahead of the curve, it must be said.
Yeah. Oh, well, indeed, yeah. But I think it was just the constant. It was the adverts, actually. That's what really, really did it. Because I discovered, I don't know if you've noticed this, but everyone has probably noticed it by now, but the adverts are much louder than the shows. And I think I've even Googled this and figured, like, it's something to do with you don't change the volume on your TV, like the audio volume is the same, but they have to sort of flood the audio spectrum with noise the whole time the advert's on to make you be attentive.
Get attention,
yeah, exactly. And so they seem like they're much louder, and that just really, really put me off. To the point I'd have to have the remote in my hand and immediately press mute when the adverts came on.
Nobody's watching these things anymore because most people are watching, unless you're watching online and then you've got no choice but to suffer it. But who wants that anymore? You can, in a way, it's kind of sad, isn't it? Because, I mean, this is another vestige of our youth. It's another thing that you can easily see disappearing altogether in a traditional sense within another generation.
TV adverts?
Well, no, I mean, just generally the concept of TV, sitting around and watching a TV screen as a family. You can easily see that not being a thing in... Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I mean, you probably, if you took the average family now, their mum and dad may still, mum will probably be watching Coronation Street and dad will be watching the sport, but the kids will be on their iPads or phones.
Yeah.
You know, either in the same room or in a different room, watching whatever they want to watch. And none of it is, it's not like all crowd around and watch Doctor Who in the 1960s. Yeah,
that's all gone. Gone. So it's kind of sad in a way, but, you know, progress, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you know, ultimately it's what people want. And if what people want is to watch random guys flying across Europe on budget airlines, then
why not? Yeah, it's interesting.
It's certainly more interesting than watching some 50-year-old woman trying to bone a 20-year-old dude on TV.
Yeah. That's just scary.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
On that note, I think we've run long again, so we should probably say goodbye. I guess we should do our customary begging.
That's right. Oh yeah. If you want to, we didn't have any this week, but if you would like to, if you like the show and you think it's worth your effort and time and whatnot, then you can go to buymeacoffee.com/middleraged, and there you can donate a little bit of your hard-earned, and
a $5.
Just a $5. Just a $5.
Just a $5, Gov. Go on.
You'll get a call out on the show, and you'll get the satisfaction of knowing that you
stopped us from bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's because it costs a little bit of money to keep this on the road, and we wanted to keep doing it because we like doing it, and so that's it really.
But as an alternative, if you don't have a $5 spare, then please. Again, this is something that we keep banging on about because it's actually something you can do for free and it's important. Subscribe and leave us a positive review.
That's
2 seconds, yeah?
Yeah, free, easy peasy. So go do that if you haven't already done it. And if you have done it, then do it again, just in case.
Yeah, just keep spamming those fucking pod platforms.
Yeah, that's it. Subscribe on your pod player of choice. This is... Speaking of YouTube, the pod is actually on YouTube. Still, I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's no video. We don't do video, fuck that. but you can listen to us ranting on YouTube, and there's no adverts in that either. So, just in case you're, somebody who doesn't know what's a podcast. Well, it's on. They know.
I'm guessing we could have probably not done this on the actual podcast then, because that's.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's on. I don't know how you find it. It's on Keith's feed. I don't know.
I'll put it. I think you just go to the midlerage.uk and it's there. It's there.
There you go. Right.
There we go. Brilliant. Right. Until next time, it's a very much a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Take it easy.